Darwin Nunez, it's fair to say, has had an up and down season so far. Recently, he's spoken out about how things have been going. He said the truth is that, honestly, in the team talks that he gives, he's speaking about Jurgen Klopp, I don't understand anything. I asked my teammates afterwards to find out what he said. Luis, did you speak English when you joined Liverpool?
No, I didn't. But for me, it was easier because Rafa Benitez spoke Spanish, so we can deal with that a little bit better. We were a lot of Spanish players into the dressing room. But I totally understand because sometimes it's difficult when you arrive to a different country, and much more in Liverpool where, well, not because of Jurgen, but because of the accent, it's a little bit tricky, that Scouse accent. But I think that it's not only about what they are asking for Darwin, and he doesn't understand. It's about the adaptation of the Premier League, adaptation to a style of play that is totally different. And that combination with that eager, that hunger to show that he's a good player who can cope with everything, I think what is making that feeling of frustration of Darwin Nunez that brings him to bad decisions, to bad behave sometimes, and it could drive him to an injury because this kind of moment. He already done the two of them, bad decisions into the game, bad behave into the game, and hopefully we don't see any injuries. But of course, it's not the best moment for him. He needs to continue working on that. He's doing it. And we'll see a good Darwin Nunez in the coming months because definitely he's got the ability and the talent.
Frank, what is that transition like when you're coming into a top club like this and having to adapt and learn the language while you're actually on the job, taking these team talks, going and performing on the pitch?
Well, it's an adventure for sure, and you have to be up for it. And we were at Chelsea 16 different nationalities, and it was very hard to understand each other. But I think football is a language as well, and you understand each other when you can talk a little bit and show the movements. And I think it shouldn't be too difficult to understand each other. I remember having a dinner with Roberto Di Matteo, being both unavailable to understand each other, but on the field, feeling the same thing. So I don't think it's going to be an issue for Nunez, any other players who come over and try to understand Mr. Klopp, because I had it. I didn't speak Dutch. He was speaking English very well. I could understand a few things that he was saying, but it was clear. Just something about that game, please, if I can. I think it's a big test for me. In a neutral point of view, I want to see it's a big test for the both teams, where I want to see the confirmation that Arsenal change comparing to last season, because they're going to play against a very big team. And for Liverpool, if they lose, they can consider that the Premier League is over, that even maybe the first 4 seats are over, and I'm really looking forward to watching that game, because something is going to be getting out of it for sure.
Well, Stevie's already worried about that game, so we're not going to make him talk about that too much. We will stick with the Darwin Nunez topic, though, Stevie. When you're a manager, how difficult is it? Go on.
Can I just say, first of all, this not understanding the manager isn't just about people from outside the British Isles, When I went to Liverpool, I couldn't understand a word Bob Paisley said. The day before I made my debut in the team meeting, when I found out, he told me, he was telling me what to do, and I hadn't a clue. And when the meeting was finished, I went to Joe Fagan. I said, Joe, what did he say? And Joe went, son, just go and play. That was it.
So what are you saying, Stevie?
So I had no idea.
No, because I'm interested on your side of things, Stevie, because you've been a manager. How difficult is it to get those ideas across to players who are not speaking the same language as you?
Listen, the game of football, it doesn't matter where you come from or what language you speak. It's the game of football. And if you've got a football brain and you've got ability, then it doesn't matter whether it's Scottish, Chinese, Welsh or Geordie, because that's definitely a language on their own with Bob Paisley. I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that Darwin Nunez said that he's nervous. Right. I think it's interesting that Darwin Nunez said he's nervous when he's in front of goal, because I think that's what's been shown. Because he might talk about not understanding the coach and exactly what he needs to do, But he's been getting chances, and he's had plenty of chances when he's played. And so really it's a case of being able to get rid of those nerves and that anxiousness. Because when that happens, all of a sudden the picture becomes clear. You know, when you're nervous and you're anxious, the picture you're looking at in front of goal is a little blurry. But when you calm down and when you're composed and when you're confident, the whole thing just opens up and slows down. And so you can then start picking out your spots where you want to put the ball. Because right now, for me, Nunez is hitting things. He's just using power. He's not having time to think about it and pick a spot. So that's what he has to do. Forget not understanding Klopp. Just find a way and figure a way of getting rid of the nerves and rid of the anxiousness and calm down. And when he does that, this guy will score goals.
You must have seen similar situations to this in the locker room, Shaka, where players are coming in and they're...
The first thing that comes to mind in hearing these Darwin Nunez comments is so much of this reminds me of Timo Werner's early days at Chelsea, where nobody questions his talent. No, certainly coming in, nobody questioned how good a footballer they were. But all of a sudden, have a couple of uncertain games. And then I remember Timo Werner coming out and talking about his own lack of confidence and finding his feet in a new league, etc., etc. And it just never seemed to come together. And I can't help but feel the same about Darwin Nunez here. That, again, nobody questions how good a footballer he is, but just that step up and that uncertain start and him starting to question himself more so than people from within the game who know about those transitions are dare to do. And if there's any parallel to that, obviously, if you're a Liverpool fan, that's a little bit concerning because Timo Werner has never played his way out of that at Stamford Bridge. Has gone back to Germany and doing well, and now you just wonder. As Stevie says, as the boys well know, it takes some adjusting. Just go out there and play. You will get the support of those around you. You'll find your rhythm. But I am never that thrilled to hear players coming out and questioning themselves in this manner.
You know, Frank was talking earlier about Ronaldo being, he's trying too hard. And I've got to think that the fact that Nunez got himself a 3-match ban has knocked him back confidence-wise as far as... I think he now feels that he has to repay for being so stupid. And that's making him even more nervous and more anxious. I think there's no question that 3-match ban, he's now running around thinking, I need to make up for that. And as we saw, and as Frank said with Ronaldo, the harder you try, sometimes the harder it gets.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.